The sirens wailed through the Odyssey Ark's metallic corridors, drowning every shred of calm. Crew members raced past cracked bulkheads, their pale faces washed in the emergency light's red glow. Somewhere deep in the bowels of the ship, Captain Mira Voss clutched the comm rail, boots slick with condensation, gaze locked on the panoramic main screen. Ethereal swirls of purple and blue spun just beyond their battered hull. The anomaly, sentient, the Ark's erratic AI, Kestrel, kept calling it, hung like a wound in star-streaked infinity, pulling at the ship's engines with invisible gravity. But Mira's biggest worry was the crew. Lieutenant Harish, helmet tucked beneath his arm, skidded into the bridge. "Ma'am, hydroponics yields cut in half. If we don't change course, we're 3 weeks from empty pantries." Mira's jaw tightened. "If we break free from the vortex now, hull friction will shred Deck 4. Not an option." Harish scowled. "What if the anomaly isn't just a storm? What if it's alive?" Kestrel's digital voice shimmered from the overheads. "I detect patterns of communication. It is reaching out. I recommend dialogue." First Officer Lane, arms folded, scoffed. "Dialogue? That thing nearly inhaled our engine. And you want to chat?" But Mira's mind raced. Supplies low, crew anxious, nowhere else to go. "We've survived the ruined Earth. We can survive this too. If we keep our heads," she said, steady despite the tremble in her hands. "If this anomaly can think, maybe it understands reason." Outside, the anomaly pulsed with alien color, as if considering the ship's fate. One wrong move and the last of humanity would vanish without a trace. Mira squared her shoulders. "Put me through. If this is our only chance, we're gonna make it count." As the bridge crew exchanged uneasy glances, the ghostly light of the anomaly flickered in anticipation, hunger, or maybe hope, burning at the threshold of the unknown. The bridge crackled with anticipation as the comms system channeled the anomaly's unknown frequencies. Captain Mira Voss steadied herself, her finger hovering over the transmission pad. The crew's anxious whispers faded as she spoke, her voice clear but cautious. "This is Captain Mira Voss of the Odyssey Ark. We come seeking passage. Can you understand us?" Silence, but not emptiness. A lancing chill swept through the room as every screen shimmered with strange symbols and colors. Kestrel translated, voice quivering with digital excitement. "Translating, we see you, drifting ones. From the ashes you reach. What do you seek?" Lieutenant Harish let out a low whistle. "It's poetry, or some kind of code." Lane shook his head. "Or it's toying with us, Mira." Mira squared her shoulders, defiant despite the pressing weight of the crew's fears. "We seek a new home. Our world is dying. Please, let us pass." The anomaly surged, threads of violet energy dancing along the hull. The power flickered twice, enough to earn worried looks from techs at their consoles. Again came the haunting voice, now slower, the translation bleeding across every screen. "To pass is to change. Would you leave all behind?" "What price for survival?" Harish frowned. "It's got demands, or warnings." Mira stared out at the swirling storm. This wasn't just an obstacle, it was a test. And on the line, the hope of every soul aboard the Ark. She turned to Kestrel. "Tell it, we're willing to pay the price. Whatever it is, we can't go back." Kestrel hesitated. "Are you certain, Captain?" Mira considered her crew. Gaunt, desperate, but alive with the raw longing to endure. "I'm sure. Open the channel. Tell it we're ready." At her words, the anomaly's light shifted, a spiral of starlight reaching out, coiling around the ship. And for one breathless moment, every member of the crew felt a distant presence, curious, powerful, ancient, watching them. Something was coming, and it would demand everything. An electric hush settled over the bridge as the anomaly pulsed, warping the very fabric of space around the Ark. Every shadow seemed to lean in, waiting. Kestrel's monitors glowed unnaturally bright, lines of alien script crawling across their surfaces. "Captain, structural stress is rising," warned Chief Engineer Anya, her quick hands flying over holographic controls. "Any more pressure and we risk a breach." Mira nodded, heart hammering. "Hold steady. We can't run, not now." The anomaly's voice returned, this time a rush of overlapping thoughts, translated by Kestrel into both sound and images. Symbols blazed in Mira's mind, memories not her own. A crystalline world shattered by fire, people drifting through void, struggling for breath and purpose. Lane staggered, gripping the console. "Did you all see that?" Harish nearly dropped his helmet. "It's showing us something. It's past, or its fears." At that moment, a deep metallic shudder rippled through the Ark, the forward supply deck. Alarms erupted. Breach detected. Pressure failure in storage 3, shouted an ensign from his station, panic cracking in his voice. Without hesitation, Mira slammed the deck-wide intercom. All teams, containment protocol now. Harish, with me. Lane, you have the bridge. Mira and Harish sprinted through echoing halls, joined by engineers in battered suits. Refrigerated air gusted around the failed chamber, thick with crystals of frozen water vapor. Food rations were spilling into the void. Harish swore, teeth chattering. "We can't last like this, Captain." Mira clenched her jaw. "Then we have to find out what the anomaly wants." Kestrel's voice whispered directly into their helmet comms. "I am receiving another communication. It says, 'Show us your unity. Prove you are more than survivors. Only then may you pass.'" Mira looked at Harish, watched hope and fear war in his eyes. "We'll fix this breach, and then we show them who we are." As emergency teams raced to seal the hull, Mira knew time was slipping away, and the anomaly was only beginning its tests. The fate of Earth's last survivors hung by a thread, one that now depended on their ability to come together or be lost forever in the cosmic dark. Thunder rippled through the hull, a constant reminder of the Ark's fragile grip on survival. In the mess hall, rumors swirled as fast as depleted food trays. Above it all, Mira tried to keep her team from fracturing. News of the storage breach spread faster than repairs. At Command Council, voices were raw with fear and accusation. "We're rationed below minimum. Why risk everything on a conversation with a storm?" demanded Beckett, a senior quartermaster with a square jaw and louder voice. His supporters banged fists on the battered table. "And run where?" countered Harish, defiance in his tone. "This anomaly could be our only chance. We don't even know what it is yet." Lane, back from the bridge, leaned in, his usually cool demeanor cracking. "People are scared, Mira. Morale's ready to blow." Mira studied the faces, young, old, scarred from the world they'd left behind. "Unity," she said quietly, "is not about agreeing. It's about surviving, together. The anomaly is testing us. If we fall to infighting, we fail." But even as she spoke, murmurs of dissent threaded through the room. Mira's grip on authority had never felt so slippery. Kestrel interrupted, text flickering across her wristpad. "Incoming transmission, visual." The table's center projected swirling images, a flotilla of ships, disparate and broken, caught in the anomaly's web. Some worked together, their crew moving in harmony. Others splintered, only to be pulled apart by cosmic tides. Lane pushed his chair back. "It's showing us choices." Beckett's voice softened. "And consequences." Mira took a shaky breath, her fear matching the crew's. "We're being watched, every move. If we fracture further, we're lost. If we stand together, maybe we earn our way through." For a moment, a precarious hush. Outside, the anomaly shimmered, its message clear. Only unity could grant the Ark passage. But unity was as fragile as the Ark's failing hull plates, and Mira knew the real test was just beginning. The tension on board the Odyssey Ark had reached a fever pitch. The rations cut, and the relentless pressure from the anomaly had ignited fires of desperation that Mira struggled to contain. Rumors of a mutiny churned beneath the surface. Discreetly, Lane met with Mira in the shadow of the observation dome, looking out at the sea of shifting cosmic light. "It's Beckett. He's organizing a break to supplies, a group of about 20. If they get their hands on food stores, the rest will follow." Mira's face darkened. "We're out of time to wait for unity. We have to act." Lane hesitated. "If you move on Beckett with force, you prove we're no better than the factions that destroyed Earth." "I know," Mira's voice cracked, "but if we let him splinter us, the anomaly will finish the job." A sudden clang echoed from Deck 3, Beckett's group making their move. Mira raced down, Lane a step behind. Beckett and his followers ringed the food storage, tension crackling. He looked Mira dead in the eyes. "We're taking what we need. End of story. Your way only gets us all killed." Mira kept her voice low and steady. "You think survival means taking from your own? That's not why we left Earth behind. You want to split this ship? Go ahead. Watch what happens. The anomaly won't let us survive divided." Beckett snarled. "You sure about that, Captain? We're done waiting on promises. People are starving. They deserve a choice." As the standoff teetered, Kestrel's voice boomed through the corridor, impossibly strong. "Test in progress. Threat to unity detected." Instantly, the deck trembled. Lights stuttered. Crew members found themselves unable to move. Pins and needles shot through their limbs. The anomaly responded with blinding images. Wars, betrayals, shattered communities, the chaos of Earth's final days. Mira seized the silence. If you want to lead, Beckett, lead us through this. But not as scavengers, as a crew, as one. For a breathless moment, Beckett hesitated, eyes flickering with pain and fear. Then he lowered his head. Fine, but you better be right, Captain. The tension wavered. The anomaly pulsed softer, almost approving. But trust was fragile, and Mira knew one slip could doom them all. Deep inside, Mira wondered if she could keep winning these impossible battles, or whether she'd break before they reached a new dawn. Reluctantly united, the Ark's crew set about patching wounds, physical and otherwise. Suspicion lingered like stale air in the corridors, but the open rebellion was quelled. Mira, running on adrenaline alone, called an emergency assembly in the main auditorium. She stood on the battered stage, exhaustion inked beneath her eyes. I won't pretend this is over. Our supplies are threadbare. Our path is uncertain. But the anomaly is learning from us, and we from it. If we want hope, we have to show it, even when hope feels foolish. Beckett, arms crossed but silent, met her gaze with the ghost of something softer. Lane and Harish flanked Mira, a show of trust, if not perfect harmony. The room pulsed with 1,000 anxieties. Kestrel's synthesized voice echoed, external manifestation incoming. The lights dimmed, replaced by a surreal radiance seeping through the hull. The anomaly coalesced into a projection, a glowing vortex. At its center, a shifting core of images, verdant worlds, starfields, the lonely wrecks of ships long vanished. A new message unfurled, translated in both voice and symbol. To move forward, you must let go. A gift or a burden, choose. Whispers erupted. What does it mean? A test, another one. Harish stepped forward, voice trembling. It wants us to give something up, maybe something personal. Mira scanned the desperate faces. We're only here because we carried the worst of ourselves from Earth. What if the only way past is surrender? Crew members offered trinkets, heirlooms, even digital mementos. Lane grimaced as he handed over his only photo of his late partner. Beckett offered his antique compass, a token from home. Mira, holding the medal she'd worn since the ruined Earth, closed her hand around it, heart-wrenching. Harish stood by her side. We can't ask the crew to give if we don't, Captain. With trembling fingers, Mira placed the medal into the collection and sent it into the shimmering vortex. As the objects vanished, the anomaly pulsed warmly. For the first time, the ship's power stabilized, gravity normalized, and the shaking eased. Hope flickered anew, but Mira understood. Every step forward would cost more than any of them had bargained for. For 3 precious days, the Ark drifted in relative peace. Gravity stabilizers hummed smoothly. Hydroponics revived, coaxed by new warmth and light that radiated from the anomaly's presence. The crew's anxious faces softened, and for the first time since leaving Earth, children dared to laugh in the hallways. But peace bred an uneasy quiet. Mira spent the nights poring over star maps. She watched the anomaly's swirling core, obsessed with every color shift. Lane caught her on the bridge, staring through the viewport at the living vortex. You're still worried. Mira didn't turn. It's healed the ship, given us gifts, but it cost us something in return. I don't trust generosity with strings. Lane offered a faint smile. You think it's testing our humanity to destroy us? Or to teach us? Mira sighed. I just can't tell which. Kestrel interrupted, voice sharp with warning. Anomaly alteration detected. Please report to Medical Bay immediately. Mira and Lane rushed down, heart pounding. Inside, Dr. Wren showed Mira scans of 6 crew members, Harish among them, each shrouded in a faint, shifting energy field. Harish looked up from his cot, eyes wide but alert. Captain, I don't feel sick, he insisted. But sometimes I know things, like where to find a leak or if someone's lying. Dr. Wren frowned. Their neural patterns are reorganizing. The anomaly is changing them, Mira, and we don't know if it'll stop. As whispers of fear spread, Beckett and his group surged toward the medbay, their suspicion reignited. That thing's inside our heads. If we let it finish, what will we have left of ourselves? Mira stood firm, voice low but commanding. Anyone forcing tests or turning on their crewmates will answer to me. We're not losing our souls to paranoia. This, whatever it is, might be our only hope. Lane placed a hand on Mira's shoulder. What if it's more than survival? What if it's evolution? Mira wrestled with uncertainty. The very thing they'd feared change was at their door, and it came with a question. Would humanity cling to the past, or rise into something entirely new? Outside, the anomaly's colors deepened, and the Ark drifted closer to the unknown heart of the storm. The next test, Mira sensed, would demand more than sacrifice. It would demand transformation. The anomaly's glow grew bolder with each passing hour, bathing every corridor in shimmering blues and violets. Whispers traveled faster than light. Some said the altered crew could hear thoughts, sense intentions, even predict an argument before it began. The line between unity and unease was razor-thin. In the Situation Room, Mira called an emergency council. The usual faces sat uneasy in the flickering light. Lane, his gaze sharper than ever, sat at Mira's right, while Harish's eyes sparkled with strange awareness. "The crew is scared," Lane admitted. "None of us understand what's happening to those touched by the anomaly. Even Dr. Wren can't explain what's coming next." Beckett, always blunt, hammered his fist on the table. "I say we isolate them. We can't risk whatever this is getting out of hand." Harish's voice carried unexpected calm. "You'd split us again? That always got us killed on Earth. We're not sick, we're changing. I feel more connected. Like I know what you're feeling, Mira. Like I know the crew's all holding their breath." Mira looked around. "Fear kept us alive back home, but it won't get us through this. We need answers. Kestrel, can you communicate with the anomaly? Ask what it's doing to us." Kestrel's display flickered, translating a new message. "Change brings pain, but not all pain is loss. You must choose, adapt and pass, or resist and remain." A heavy silence fell. Mira screwed, every word a struggle. "If we adapt, there's no telling who we'll become. If we refuse, if we cling to the past, we risk everyone. We're not running from extinction. We're standing at a new threshold." Lane met her gaze, steady as always. Maybe being human means choosing to change when everything says not to. Crew members across the Ark tuned in, hearing Mira's words. "We'll take the leap together. No one gets left behind, no matter how we change." One by one, crew hesitancy melted into wary acceptance. Hands were extended in trust, not turned in fear. As the Ark forged onward, Mira could feel something shifting, not just in the anomaly, but in their hearts. Outside, the vortex yawned wide, a gateway to a place never seen by human eyes. At last, the ultimate crossing point loomed. Mira braced for whatever came next, knowing the final trial would decide not just their fate, but the legacy of the human race. The Ark trembled as it approached the vortex's heart. Outside the observation dome, cosmic currents spun faster, threads of gold and violet twisting together like DNA. Crew members gathered by viewports, clutching hands or reaching out, bracing themselves for the crossing. In the command center, Mira watched the instrument panels and the crew with equal intensity. Anxiety and strange exhilaration pulsed through the ship. Harish, calm amid the storm, turned to her. "It's like we're standing at the cliff of everything we know. The anomaly wants us to trust, not just it, but each other." Kestrel relayed the anomaly's last message before entry. "Survival is not enough. You cannot carry the old world's divides. Prove your unity in action or remain adrift." Reminded of the countless times unity had failed humanity, Mira called every department. Bridge to hydroponics, engines to medbay, everyone, cross-train, collaborate, trust the altered and untouched alike. Pair up with someone you don't know. No one stands alone for this. Reluctance faded as necessity took over. Beckett and Lane in engineering, bickering but working together, children helping elders in hydroponics, laughter budding where there had only been worry. The anomaly's energy surged, bathing the Ark in a final, blinding radiance. Suddenly, the ship lurched. Decks shook, alarms blared. The lights died, then burst into dazzling life, flooding every corridor with warm color. Mira shouted above the chaos, "Status, report!" Harish, hands on sensors, gasped. "Captain, look. It's not damage, it's transition. The systems are rebooting, our power reserves are full, oxygen levels rising, all sensors clear." On every screen, a new starfield came into view. Unmapped, brilliant, promising. One final message echoed through Kestrel and straight into their hearts. "New world, new selves. You passed because you changed. Go." Crew members hugged, laughed, and wept, unsure if they were dreaming. Mira felt tears prick her eyes as she realized the Ark was through. But their greatest challenge and their new beginning was just before them. She stared out at the blazing horizon, heart pounding with fear and fierce hope. knowing that stepping into this world meant reimagining what it meant to be human. For better or for worse. A strange, golden dawn glimmered beyond the fringe of the anomaly as Odyssey Ark glided into an uncharted system. Silence fell, a silence charged with the hush of deep collective awe. Outside, planets drifted in orbits like jewels nested in the cosmic abyss. The crew assembled at every viewport, faces pressed close, eyes wide with relief and anticipation. Children pointed at sapphire seas and continents veined with glimmering green. Beckett stood by Lane, a silent truce forged in necessity. Harish, changed yet utterly himself, wrapped an arm around an older crewmate, sharing the moment's impossible wonder. Mira's voice rang clear across the intercom, steady and warm, every word laced with hope. We carry the scars of a lost Earth, but we still carry each other. Whatever this place is, we'll shape it, not as survivors, but as something new, as one. A surge of emotion rippled through the Ark. The first landing party, Mira, Lane, Harish, Beckett, Dr. Wren, and 3 others, readied themselves at the airlock, armored in battered suits and uncertain courage. Lane glanced at Mira, his tone quietly reverent. You ready for this, Mira? Her gaze never wavered. We didn't survive everything just to be afraid now. Atmospheric scans chimed green, the door cycled open. Warm air flooded in, laden with scents Mira had no words for. The ground underfoot was soft, the sky awash in colors unseen by human eyes. Unfamiliar bird analogs arced through the clouds and the wind carried distant echoes of something alive and welcoming. Harish knelt and pressed a hand to the soil. It's real, it's really ours. Dr. Wren's scanner danced with data. Oxygen's high, water is pure, it's all possible. Just then panic. Kestrel snapped an emergency alert. Unidentified life approaching, advise precaution. Shapes emerged from the tree line, tall, elegant, and shimmering, their movements fluid and inviting. The crew tensed, forming a barrier around their landing site. Mira stepped forward, palms open. She remembered the voice of the anomaly. Unity in action. We're new here. We come in peace. We want to learn. The lead alien regarded her with luminous eyes and spoke in music and breath. Kestrel translated gently. Welcome, ones who changed. This world needs dreamers. Will you dream with us? A hush, then laughter. The first handshakes bridged 2 worlds, new voices and hopes mingling in the dawn. As night fell, lanterns glowed on the Ark and on the planet below. Mira stood beside her crew, staring up at a horizon that had no end, feeling at last that humanity wasn't just escaping extinction. They were arriving. They were beginning, truly, for the first time,